Will it buff out? I get asked that question so many times. People send me pictures of their cars. Hey, I just got in an accident. Hey, someone just hit my bumper. Hey, I just got this scratch. What can I do to fix it? Well, in this video today, I'm gonna be showing you guys what you can do to buff it out, which basically means I'm gonna show you how to take care of scratches. I'm gonna show you how to take care of accidents or small stuff like this. So should you guys have this, you guys are gonna know exactly what to do, and I'm gonna help you guys so that you guys can get this done without breaking the bank. So this here is my friend's Nissan. Now, he accidentally hit a pylon while he was driving. So the rear bumper, it's gone, it's getting fixed and it's getting repainted. But the side part of the car over here, it also got hit by that stupid pylon. So what I'm gonna try and do today is address all the scratches that you're seeing here. I'm gonna also try to remove all the swirl marks that are in the paint. So can you see all this? So these are just regular scratches from not, too gentle of washing. But this right here, all this, I want to see if we can remove, or at least make it look like it's not as bad. So it starts all the way from the back side of the driver's side door, and it works all the way to the back side of the car. So I'm going to try and do a couple things. So I'm going to section this off into 3 different sections. So we've got these 2 broken off, and I'm going to do another one right here. So what we're going to try and do is 3 different things. So the first one is going to be using a magic eraser. I'm going to see if that is going to be able to remove all of these scratches and all the paint transfer and all this scuffing that we see here on the door. For this middle section here, what I'm going to start doing is immediately polishing and trying to cut all this stuff back to see if we can remove all these scratches. Finally, this section here, I'm going to begin with wet sanding. I'm going to then follow that up with polishing and cutting this section here so that we can restore the gloss back to it. So let's start off with this side. Let's see what we can do over here. The tools that we're going to be using for the left side of this little area is going to be quite cheap. So all that we're really going to need is what you can pretty much find at home. So if you have a Mr. Clean magic eraser, some water, and a microfiber towel, you'll be able to do this without a problem. If you also have a blowgun like this that's attached to an air compressor, it makes drying it and inspecting the paint a little bit easier after we've gone ahead and used the magic eraser. So you're just going to spray this on here, and we're going to see if we can remove some of this paint transfer or dirt or whatever you want to call this. So you can see that there's a lot of marking here. You can do some rubbing back and forth to see if this will come out. Now, something to note is that if you guys do go with a magic eraser like this that I have, and you start just rubbing down each one of these panels, keep in mind that this is an abrasive, so you are indeed going to be scratching the paint. After doing each one of these routes, you're going to need to follow it up with some polish. So you're going to need to restore the shine because we're essentially scratching and rubbing whatever is on the panel into it more. Try to keep this wet and we'll see what this can do. So following that, the paint does look a little bit better. It doesn't seem to be as noticeable, but there still is some marking on here. So I'm gonna follow it up again with that magic eraser to see if we can remove any more. Upon inspecting the paint, it's pretty safe to say that the magic eraser does not remove the scratches. All that this will do is remove the paint transfer from the car. So if you've ever brushed up against anything and you have another color on your car, you can remove that relatively easily without spending a lot of money using this guy here. This cost me $2. Water's free, towel I have at home. So this is a very easy DIY option to make it look like it's not that severe. Now, if you guys think that's good enough, then by all means, you're done. But we're gonna go one step further and we're gonna see if we can physically remove the scratches and the imperfections that are found on the car. So that's why we're gonna move on to the next step and work on the middle section of the rear quarter panel. This dual action polisher right here is made from Rupes, and it's by far one of the best dual action polishers that you can find on the market. This machine is handmade in Italy. It's an amazing tool, and I will use this whenever I need to detail a car. So if I have to repair scratches or remove paint imperfections on a panel, this is my go-to machine. Now, this is quite on the expensive side of the tools. So this guy right here retails for $440, which is quite expensive. Now, I completely understand not everyone can justify spending that money on something they're only gonna use, let's say, once or twice. If you're a detailer, this is by far the best tool you can buy, but if you're just someone that wants to fix a scratch without breaking the bank, I have something else for you. That's why I have this. So inside this bag, I have a dual action polisher that will not break the bank. So this guy here is a dual action polisher that is very similar to the Rupes. This is a dual action, which means it spins and oscillates. And it also has a 15mm throw, which is terrific for safely removing scratches from paint. Most dual action polishers that you'll see on the market have a small throw, so they won't be able to go from here to here. It'll probably be about half that distance. Now, the amount of throw you have means how much paint you can cut back safely. So the larger the throw, the better the machine is. Now, my Rupes is a 21mm. Now, you can also get a 15mm dual action polisher from Rupes. This here is a 15mm, and this costs less than half of what the Rupes one costs. Now, this guy here does come with a bag. It comes with a handle should you want to use it for the machine. And it's got a really nice storage bag for it. So if you want to put it away, you can store it in here, and it's got the company on there along with on the machine. So this guy here is what we're going to be using today to remove those scratches. So this Maxshine polisher is not made in Italy, and it's not handmade. It's made in China. But that's why this thing costs a heck of a lot less than the Rupes one. Now, it does have the same kind of mechanism. It works in the same kind of way. There are some small differences between the two, but at this price point, how can you say no to this? If you are not detailing every single day and you need the top of the line tool, this here is a no-brainer. This is definitely the way to go. I use this exact same tool to clean the front end of this Nissan by polishing it up and removing the scratches. So I'm gonna be using this along with a cutting compound and a microfiber cutting pad to restore the paint on the back. So we're gonna be using this guy here for the middle section of that panel. So if I were to tackle this, I would be using a cutting compound along with a microfiber cutting pad. So that's gonna be able to remove and pick up a lot of this transfer, and it's also gonna be able to refine the paint and remove the scratches. So we're gonna be putting a little bit of polish on top of here, and we're gonna see what we can do to the panel. After a minute of polishing, you can see that their scratches are still there, but it's not as noticeable as the scratches that were over here. When you get inside the light, you can definitely see they're there. Here, definitely not so much. So we not only removed a good amount of that paint transfer, but the scratches too are pretty much gone. Now we can work this in a little bit more to remove more of it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. After the second pass, I can say that this definitely looks a lot better, but you can tell indeed that there are still scratches in the paint. So this isn't exactly 100% fixed, but this does look a lot better. Getting this done here does cost a little bit more than just doing a magic eraser over the entire thing. However, the results do speak for themselves. So as you can tell here, there aren't really that many scratches left in the paint. You know, obviously on the transfer part area over there, there is, but over here, there isn't that much. On this side though, look at the swirls. So there's still a really big difference between here and here. Now, what we're gonna try and do next is see if we can remove this completely. For this next section, I'm gonna begin with a high grit sandpaper. So you can choose to use either a hand method or power tool method. So you can use a sanding disc like this that attaches to your dual action polisher. So you can use a 3000 grit like this, stick it right to it, and you can use that to sand out and remove all those deep scratches that you have in the clear coat. Now, if you don't want to purchase these, they can be a little expensive, you can go with the hand route. As long as you use a foam sanding block inside of the sandpaper, you'll be good. So what you're pretty much doing is sanding and removing the scratches that are in the clear coat. Now, regardless of the method that you choose to use, you have to use it with water. So water is going to be the lubrication in this step, and it's going to make it so you get nice, consistent, uniform sanding on the panel. So you just grab the water and mist it onto the panel, and then use your sandpaper to go in a uniform pass. So if you're on the machine, use it nice and slowly, don't rush it too fast, but if you're using paper or the regular sandpaper like this, what I would suggest doing is going slow, don't press too hard, and let the sandpaper do its thing. You shouldn't really have to be pushing into the clear coat too much for either the hand method or the machine method. You have to let the sandpaper do its thing. Now, if you're new to this, I would do a little at a time. So I would sand for like 15, 20 seconds, wipe it, see what you're left with. Do it again, see what you're left with. The reason why I would do that is because you can't exactly add clear coat back onto the car, but if you take it slowly, you'll be able to remove it safely. This sandpaper is thicker than the amount of paint that you have on your car, so just be careful when you're doing this and take your time. After wiping down the panel, grab an air compressor and blow the panel dry so you can see the areas that you still have to sand. With everything wet, it's very difficult to distinguish what has been sanded and what hasn't. So if you blow it down, all that water will evaporate and you'll see what you have to do next. If you can still see the scratch, continue sanding it down, but otherwise you can stop right there. Following that, it's time to further refine those scratches and remove all of that matte that you have on the paint. So right now, because we sanded it, it doesn't have a shine to it. But we're going to need our microfiber cutting pad and our polish that we used earlier to bring back that shine. The difference between where we are right now and where we were before is that the scratch itself, the deep scratches from the impact, those will be removed because we sanded them out. When you go straight to the cutting pad, you're not going to be able to remove and target each one of those scratches. That's why the sanding stage is super important. Spread the polish on the panel and buff away. I have one question for you. Will it buff out? You'll see that the panel looks good, the scratches are gone, but we still have some light scratching left in the area. Now we're gonna be able to further refinish those scratches by using a foam polishing pad and a finer polishing compound. So this here is gonna be a lot finer, it's gonna be able to smoothen all of that out. Take the old pad off, put this new one on, spread a little bit of polish in there, and you're gonna be left with paint that looks unbelievable. What I find funny is that when I did this step, the camera's autofocusing settings couldn't even pick up the clear coat because it was so shiny. The camera was trying to focus on the reflection through the paint instead of the paint itself. How awesome is that? You might be able to see one minute or two minute scratches here and there, but this looks so much better than before. So if we compare this to this side, you can see that there are still scratches in the surface. Now, is this still better than this here? I would say absolutely. So if we work from left to right, you can see it gets better and better. After you finish removing all the scratches that are on the car, it's not a half bad idea to apply some sort of protection on the paint so that there's some sort of thing that's protecting it from the dirt, from scratches, from everything else. So right here I have some really nice Meguiar's wax. It's relatively inexpensive. You can pick this up for like 10, 15 bucks. This here is sea quartz. This is a ceramic coating. This will cost you about $70. They both will protect the car. They both will somewhat do the same thing, but one of them will last longer than the other. If you're gonna go through all this effort to make the paint look good, it's not a half bad idea to make sure it stays looking that good with some sort of protection. Now, after watching this video, if you know someone or even if your car is this damaged or you have some sort of paint transfer or you have scratches or scrapes in there, you will know exactly what to do. You'll know how to tackle it, and you can tell if it can be fixed, if it can't be, or if you just want to slightly touch it up. At the end of the day, your budget is going to be the biggest difference between going through each one of these steps. Now, skill, it's kind of there, but if I were you, I would learn from Rob's mistakes. If you do hit a pylon, don't pay someone to fix the car. Buy the polisher, buy the stuff that you need to get it fixed, do it yourself, and then you'll have that tool to fix it again should something else happen. Or you can do it for a friend and charge them a couple bucks. Now, I did use this Maxshine polisher to remove the imperfections in the paint, both the swirl marks and the damage and the scratches that were found in the clear coat. Now, if you compare this to the Rupes, does the Rupes come with the bag? No, it doesn't. Does the Rupes come with the handle for the tool? No, it doesn't. Does the Rupes tool come with a washer mod so that the top of it will spin freely? No, it doesn't. Does it cost 170 bucks? No, it doesn't. But this one here does that and more. You tell me, is it worth it? If you want to find any of the tools that I used in this video, you guys can find links in the description box. I have links directing you to Amazon. Whether you want to find the polisher, whether you want to find the polishing pads, or even the polisher itself. Everything's going to be down there. Easy links directing you right to Amazon. Anyways, I've got to go back to the car. I need to finish up the middle section and the left section, and I need to remove all of those heavy scratches. If you guys found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. But otherwise, if you have any further questions, the comment section is down there. I go through all of it. I'm happy to help you guys out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.